buckets. There are 6, 9 ground feeders and 7 hanging feeders. The list in this cabinet just mentions anyone that has anything different than just the 1 scoop each daily. So 1 scoop of pellets here, but you'll notice the mares like Precious, Bunny, and Tori all get 2 scoops, and those mares will get the ground feeders. And then these separate supplements like the Cosequin, or like Wolf has another scoop, and Rice Brand, you'll make up separately and feed whenever you have these horses out. All right, there are 8 horses in the school horse field. So I'm gonna make up 8 scoops or 8 bins with 1 scoop each. 1 scoop is the whole thing up to the top. You could do 3/4, you could do a half, you could do a quarter, but this is 1 scoop. Okay, there's 8 for the 8 school horses. And then the mares in the back. 1, 2, 3, Bunny, Precious, Tori. They're each getting 2. Okay, so now I would look probably at the Google sheet and see what horses were being used today, and what horses were assigned to me. So let's say, for example, Dakota was assigned to me. Dakota needs a scoop of Cosequin. So he doesn't need additional grain necessarily, just enough to coerce him into eating the Cosequin. So I would make up then an additional ground feeder, and I would put just like half a scoop or a quarter of a scoop, just enough to entice him to eat the Cosequin. It's really not much. Here, I used one of these big ones, but honestly it probably would be better to use one of the smaller ones because this is not very much grain. And then a scoop of Cosequin. Give it a little shaky shake. And then you would give that to Dakota as his treat at the end of the lesson. Just a good rule of thumb, if your horse is hot and sweaty, it's not good for them to have any grain. It's a colic risk. So you don't want to be feeding them a major amount of grain after they eat. It's really just an effort to get them their supplements because we're limited in being able to segregate these horses. So if you had a really hot and sweaty horse, you'd make sure you cooled them down with a cooler or a hose and touch their chest, make sure they're no longer hot to the touch before you gave them a big portion of grain. All right, now I'm gonna make a bunch of noise. With the horses coming up, I like to whistle, I like to shake the grain, I like to bang buckets together. Come on, boys! Come on! Come on! All right, then you're gonna see them all start running up. I do not want you to drop grain until the horses are all up here. Otherwise, you're gonna have a fight, or one horse is gonna start eating and finish before the last horse even arrives. But you can see they're starting to kind of filter up. I start at the top and I work my way down, and I make sure I separate their grain so they don't fight, or at least I limit some of their fighting. Maximize around here. All right, all 8 geldings have grain. They're not fighting because we separated, and I didn't have to go in there. I fed over the fence. Now I'm just gonna climb in here and I'm gonna close this fence so that they're all in for my lesson. We're gonna make sure this gate is closed so that they cannot escape. There are 2 entrances to this shelter. All right, now I'm gonna stack the ground feeders and then take them down to the mares in the back. If you are out of grain for any reason, you can either wheel this up the ramp to the feed room, or you can take bags from the feed room to the bin. The grain for the school horses is the green bag, the Triumph 12% pellet. Looks like this. Not like this. Just the pellet, not the sweet option. Green bag. All right, you'll load up the mare's grain in your car or the gator or whatever and come down to the back. These ones are really good at coming when they're called. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on, come on. Same thing goes, make sure that you separate these. There's a 2-year-old out here and they are very quick to tell her when she is wrong. So we'll avoid fighting if they're separated. These will rotate. So you'll come down here and there'll be empty ones, empty ground feeders. So when you feed the full ones, you'll also grab the empty ones and stack them with all the others.